All right, friends, for star review C, I'm going to have you go ahead and complete the first page, and then we're going to go over it. So make sure you're pausing and completing, not just waiting for me to give you the answer. Remember, I am watching you. All right, number 1 says, a student makes a bow and arrow using wood and string. When the student pulls the string back and releases the arrow will travel several feet forward. Which form of energy is used to pull the string back? So looking at mechanical energy, heat energy, electrical energy, or light energy, if I'm pulling back and releasing it, then I'm moving. So that motion is going to be mechanical energy. For number 2, lightning is a bright flash of light produced by a thunderstorm and is a powerful force of energy. Which form of energy does lightning not have? Well, looking at my answer choices, electrical energy, we know it has that. Solar energy, well, that's from the sun. Thermal energy, yes, it's going to make heat. That's why we talked about how it can cause fires. And light energy, yes, because it lights up the sky. So the one that it does not have is G, solar energy. It may clear up or not. There it goes. All right. Number 3. Which of the following does not need an electrical circuit to operate correctly? So it does not need electricity. So I don't have to plug it in or use a battery for it. We have a drill, a fan, the bathtub faucet, and a TV. So which one does not need an electrical circuit? You should have put C. You're just using mechanical energy there. You're moving and turning the knobs to get some thermal energy, unless you like cold baths. I do not. Number 4, thermal energy, which is heat, causes matter to change state. Which diagram below shows a change in state by adding thermal energy? So I'm adding heat to it. So I labeled my pictures. I'm going from solid to solid, liquid to solid, solid to liquid, or gas to gas. Well, if I'm adding heat to it, if I add heat to a solid, I'm not going to have a solid. If I add heat to a liquid, it's not going to take it to a solid. That's if I put it in the freezer. Think about water. If I have water, if I add heat to it, it's not going to become a solid. It's going to become a gas. If I have a solid and add heat to it, liquid, well, if I think about an ice cube, if I add heat to it, I would get water. So I'm going to put a maybe here. And then gas to gas. Well, that's not a change. I'm looking for a change. So if it's not changing, it can't be A or D. So it's got to be C. And number 5, all of the following are a direct result of erosion, except, well, erosion is the movement or moving of those sediments. So a river forms a canyon. Well, that's going to happen. It's going to erode to form a canyon. So it can't be that one. A volcano forms underwater. Well, that's more deposition. A valley carved by a glacier. Well, that's erosion. Strong flowing water washes away a riverbank. Well, that's erosion too. So my answer is B because that is deposition. Go ahead and do the next page and we'll go over that one. All right, number 6. A student drew colored circles on a piece of paper and placed it behind a glass jar half full of water. Why do the colored circles in the lower part of the jar appear larger than the circles in the upper part of the jar? So thinking about light rays, it says light rays are refracted when they travel through water. Well, I'm going to put maybe because that's true. They do bend. Refracted means bend. Light rays are reflected when they travel through the top of the jar. Well, no, they're not reflecting because reflecting means it's bouncing back. Light rays travel in a straight line when they go through water. Well, we know they don't. We just said that they bend or refract. Light rays disappear when they travel through water. Well, no, they don't disappear. They're still going. So F. Number 2, number 7, number something. The model shows a periscope which can be used to see over walls or around corners. We saw these when we did our light unit. Light enters the periscope, strikes 2 mirrors. So here's mirror 1, mirror 2, to change its direction. Once the light hit mirror 2, it leaves the periscopes and travels where? Well, once it leaves mirror 2, it travels in a straight line for you to see it. So that is answer C. Number 8/9, because it's fancy. Students are asked to create a system using 2 mirrors and a flashlight to hit a target with a beam of light. Which diagram correctly uses 2 mirrors and a flashlight to hit the target? Just from my question, I can already get rid of B and D because they only have 1 mirror. And it says I have to use 2 mirrors and a flashlight. So here, my light's going from the flashlight to the mirror, to the next mirror, to the target, or it's going from the flashlight to the mirror, to the target, to the mirror. Well, in order to reflect correctly, it has to be A. And number 9/2. Picture below is a model of a roller coaster track made for rolling marbles. A student places the marble at the starting point, right here, and releases the marble. At which point will the marble travel the fastest? Point M, point N, point O, or point P? Well, because it's an incline, the higher the incline, the faster it's going to go. It's going to go faster down that slope. So it is F, point M. Go ahead and do the next page and we will go over it together. All right, so I've used my strategies. I'm underlining and circling. Hopefully you are too. So for number 10, scientists agree that almost all the energy on Earth comes from the sun. Which answer choice best explains how the sun contributed to the formation of fossil fuels? So thinking about fossil fuels and looking at the poster over on the wall, you should have gotten D. The sun heats up an active volcano, which then forms fossil fuels, because we said, and it's on the poster, that they come from active volcanoes. Look at the wall. Number 11, which answer choice best explains what might happen to sedimentary rock if it is exposed to wind, rain, and harsh temperatures over a long period of time? We've been talking about this with our fossil unit. So what will happen? The weathering will break the rock into sediment. It will be eroded and deposited into a new location, forming new sedimentary rock. A. Also on the wall. Number 12. Also been talking about this. Evidence of past living organisms from millions of years ago are found in sedimentary rock. It's the layers. Number 13, part of the surface of the earth rotates from daylight to darkness, then back into daylight. How long does it take the earth to go through this cycle? So it's the day-night cycle. If you look on the back wall near the clock, you'll see that it's rotating, which causes day and night, and that takes 24 hours. So if I keep going with that and I have Earth's rotation that causes the day-night cycle, the other thing that it causes is the apparent movement of the sun across the sky, because it looks like the sun is moving from east to west, but it's actually the Earth rotating. Go ahead and do the last page and we'll go over that. All right, number 15, the photograph below is a fossilized imprint of a tropical plant found in a very cold climate zone of Antarctica. Which conclusion can be drawn about how this tropical plant fossil ended up in such a cold climate zone? This is kind of like the mammoth tusk that we were talking about. The answer is A. The land was once a warm climate. It had to have been warm for that tropical plant to have been there. Kind of like that desert had to have been cold for the woolly mammoth to have been there with its tooth. Number 16, paleontologists can use the shapes of fossil teeth from animals to find out what kind of food they might have eaten. Below is a fossil of an animal and its teeth. So here is its teeth. What do the teeth most likely tell paleontologists about this animal? So did it eat plants, meat, insects, or it used its teeth to grind leaves? Those type of teeth are used for eating meat. So B. 17, we're switching to weather and climate for 17 and 18. Which of the following best defines a weather change over a climate change? So if you look over by the calendar, you'll see our chart of weather on the left, climate on the right. So it should be F. And if you use that same chart for 18, where it's asking which statement best explains the difference between weather and climate, well, weather is short-term conditions and climate is average for extended periods of time. Long time. Last one, number 19. Which picture below is a non-renewable resource? So it takes millions of years for it to try and replace. You cannot replace it easily. That would be D. Go ahead and put this one with your other star reviews. It will be going home with you to study for STAR, and then you need to get on STEM Scopes.